Here are 6 more theories of mine on random topics. Number 1 is that the original Star Wars ships are based off of different planetary symbols from the zodiac. Maybe this was intentional, maybe it was subconscious, but let me get out of the way so you can see it. So if you're wondering why you're sad, it could be because your TIE fighter's out of position and you got an X-Wing on your 6. Number 2, I think that Rat Kings form into Rat Kings on purpose, either to intimidate predators or to scare away other competition. They have some control over the muscles of their tail, and so they simply form together into the Rat Kings. And when they're done, they just slip out of it. And I think the only times we see them is there's some circumstance where they accidentally got stuck or they got killed while they were in their Rat King form. Rats are very, very clever, and they're very clean. They have to be clean because of the environments that they're in. So I don't think it's very common that they get so dirty that their tails get stuck to each other. They can also control the blood flow into their tail. So I think they're able to slip in and out of these Rat Kings. Number 3, I think the appendix is a super important organ. Not necessarily vital, as people get it removed all the time, but I think it's super important for the microbiome. It helps release chemicals that protect bacteria in your microbiome, the good bacteria. I think the appendix is being lied about because there's a massive organ harvesting operation. There's probably some black market for rich people to get fresh appendixes from people in order to maintain their gut health. I wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing soon that you don't actually need 2 kidneys and 2 kidneys is bad for you, so they can start getting kidney transplants. Number 3, I think that logical fallacies are the most dishonest form of human communication. If you point out logical fallacies like there's some Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card, I have no respect for you. You'll say something and someone will be like, you've activated my straw man trap card. You can't talk for 10 minutes and your arguments are invalidated. We all believe things because of our experiences, our biases, our notions. There's no invalid way of believing in something, and when people point out logical fallacies, they have no actual conscious or original thought. They have no way of arguing against someone else's personal beliefs. Don't use logical fallacies, just come up with an actual way to talk to another human being. Number 5, I think that Doggerland, the landmass that used to connect Europe to England, was the location of Atlantis. I think there was an early civilization of people, and the tsunami that came around 6000 BC killed most of them and destroyed most of their civilization. This event led to a migration of these people back down to the Mediterranean. I think they were astronomers and architects, and I think they were the origins of the Neolithic builders. And I think their stories passed down into Hebrew and Egyptian mythologies. That's where you have the flood, and a lot of the geographic locations of the Old Testament took place in that landmass. I think Celtic and Egyptian, they share those common ancestors, which is just a migration of people pretty much going back and forth from the Mediterranean to the British Isles. There's a lot of interesting connections and similarities between the Celtic people and the Egyptian people. I just think the Stone Age was a lot more interconnected than we tend to think. Number 6, I think diatoms are responsible for the cases of miraculous healing through water, like sacred springs and sacred lakes and sacred baptisms. They're microscopic algae, they're classified as protists, and they form these glass shells made of silica in these intricate geometric shapes. But silica in the body is potentially able to draw out a lot of toxins and be an effective pesticide. They're also responsible for 20 to 50% of the oxygen in the planet. They can be found in pretty much every marine environment on the planet. They're just super important for the food chain and for oxygen production and for cleaning out silica and carbon dioxide. When they die, their skeletons accumulate and we collect that, and it's called diatomaceous earth. It has many industrial uses, but it's also ground into powder and can be used internally or for pets or for pesticide control around the house. So I think the cases of miracle healing water is these people bathing or drinking these diatoms inadvertently, and it just basically cleanses their system. And it certainly could be a pretty fast fix, depending on what your ailment was. Another possible candidate for those healing miracle water stories is bacteriophages that were in the water, and they just targeted whatever bacteria or pathogen was in the body and cured whatever ailment someone was faced with. Thanks for watching.